Hello, everyone, and welcome to Shut Up, We're Talking, presented by SwinRadio. I am your host, Matisse Johnson, and here today with me is Julian Myers.
What up, my dudes?
And this episode, we were talking about anime. So we'll hit it with one of my all-time favorite anime openings to open the show.
Hopefully it's not too loud.
I don't care if it's not loud.
All right, here we go.
This is a banger. You know what this is about?
This is where you
a
dab.
sad boy named Shinji. Because he won't get the robot.
Oh, I've seen images of this.
This is one of the most famous anime in Japan. This is the, they have, she went and did a concert, the woman that sang this, and opened up the thing, and it was like all of Japan was there. Just like, guys, all of Japan.
No, I've been there. There's a lot of people, so that
They know, because they love her. I bet you money that they're going to play this at the opening ceremony of Tokyo's Olympics. I bet you money.
We should open with that.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Tokyo Olympics.
And we're back.
Oh, that was a banger.
That was one of the best songs on the planet, I think. All right, so today we'll be talking about anime and anime adaptations. And the good and the bad.
And the ugly.
Oh, yes.
One of my favorite films of all time.
One of the things I genuinely hate in this world is live action adaptations of anime. They make me sick to my stomach.
But what are you talking about? I love seeing white people playing Asian people. It's
No,
the
but
best.
they've done it even worse, where there was an all Japanese cast for a anime that was meant to be European. Thanks, well done.
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist, and it came
Yeah.
out. All the terrible animes came out in like 2017. What happened?
Agreed.
Very true.
Yeah.
So I think we want to talk about why they do it, especially Hollywood. Hollywood gets it wrong every time. Death Note, Ghost in the Shell. They're now doing Your Name, which is the top grossing anime film.
Oh, no.
J.J. Abrams is directing. Help me, Jesus.
Yikes.
So I'm a little worried about that. But I think because of the type of story that Your Name has, it's kind of like a talking story rather than an action story. It might do well. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Well, are you well depth in the anime kind of world?
I have been. I grew up with it, I guess.
See, I got
You
into
know,
it late.
Pokemon, Studio Ghibli.
Oh.
I grew up with the best stuff. Toasted TV had all the great stuff.
Oh,
on it.
yes.
And then when I got into high school, we had a forensics class for a whole semester, and like half of the class was just let's watch anime.
Oh, what a good class. But
Great.
did you watch the dub or the sub?
Um,
Because I think Toasted TV does dubs, don't they?
yeah, they do dub. I watch both. It depends. Like, if I want to watch it to understand what they're talking about, what the story
sub?
is, and appreciate the visuals, I usually actually watch the dub first.
I hate you.
But then I will watch the sub. It depends on how I'm watching it. Like, sometimes they'll only have a subtitle track, and I'm like, that's fine. I'll watch. I don't mind.
The
Like,
only dub I've seen that's been good is the Yu-Gi-Oh dub, because the guy that plays Seto Kaiba nails it. He is Seto Kaiba. They changed the script for Yu-Gi-Oh as well, so it's just him riffing. It's great.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever. I sit there. It's on Netflix, and I sit there and watch it, and it's genuinely hilarious. Every other dub I've seen, Haikyuu, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, they're all really bad, and I hate them. And people are like, I only watch the dub, and I'm like, you're trash. So please watch the sub. There are Japanese voice actors that are 10 times any voice actors in America.
That's fair enough. I just want to ask briefly. Are you hearing the dotting noise?
A little
in the
bit.
background? Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping that's not.
It's my
picked up.
excitement because I'm going to rip into Death Note.
Yes. Hopefully there are no proper technical difficulties when this has come out.
I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
It'll just
I mean,
be me getting too
it's-
excited,
it's-
ripping things apart.
Yeah, totally. So, should we just start with Death Note?
Yeah, so I was going to say, and Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
got to be the worst live-action adaptation of an anime that's ever happened.
I mean, look, I don't mind seeing an actor being constipated, but at least it should just be for toilet ads.
The director had to apologize.
I'm not surprised.
The director, the director wasn't a fan of Dragon Ball at all, and was like, "I'm sorry for creating a terrible thing,"
yeah,
and apologized.
That's like the opposite of the Death Note movie, because the director and co-writer actually really liked the anime.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Yeah,
but
they tried,
yeah, they tried.
but failed in my eyes.
I mean, okay, yeah. But should we just start talking about
Okay.
Death Note? All right.
Death Note is again, if you're gonna choose a popular like anime or manga and like to adapt, you have to adapt it well.
Yeah.
But by changing certain things in the anime or in the live action, you're gonna ruin a lot of the fans' experiences, and that's what happened to me. They ruined Light's character. They made him so dumb and so stupid, and they made it a romance.
Yeah.
It's not a romance.
My friend actually says that the Light's character is a satire on the character of Light from the anime.
Why?
And
That's
that was
not a good excuse.
No, I know, but this is my friend is he likes like coming up with like there could be really good excuses or really
He's like a
cheesy
devil's advocate, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess like he will try and find the pro in a con movie.
There is no
like,
pro in this movie.
I mean,
I'm
the
taking a very-
cinematographer's not bad.
I was going to say that's the only thing that had
Like-
going for it.
It's like one of the things that I really liked. I'm like, okay, they actually thought about how they were going to make this movie.
I laughed so hard. Oh, spoilers, by the way. At the end, when the Ferris wheel is falling down,
Oh, yeah.
the soft rock that they're playing,
Mm.
and I
But
wanted.
it's so emo. I love it.
It's so dumb. I hated it. And I was like, this isn't Tumblr 2012. This is 2017.
Yeah.
Please.
It's Tumblr 2017 with no porn, no murder, well, not exactly murder, but nothing good.
There was nothing good. All right. So I made some notes. Light in the anime and manga, he is. You get shown straight away. He's a perfect student.
Mm.
He's highly intelligent. He's very calculating.
Yeah.
They try to show that Light.
They showed
is-
it literally because he's doing math.
Yeah, but what Light doesn't
Algebra,
like
the easiest
and
of the
absolutely
math.
hates is crime. What is he doing in the live action? A crime. Ah! So that was the first big thing that I yelled at the TV screen at. And he accidentally finds the Death Note. The Death God Ryuk throws it into the human world and it actually falls. He does not give it to Light. That's a big plot point because it's meant to be. That's how it shows how tragic it is because it could have happened to anyone.
Yeah.
And that through that he develops a god complex.
Yeah.
And then he kills like over I think like 1,000 people, but they're all criminals.
Yeah.
All of them. Light Turner in the film kills it because he wants to impress a girl.
Yeah.
He's literally they're rolling
Wants to
around.
get laid.
Yeah, he's rolling around having sex and it's like let's write it on the name in the Death Note and they get really aroused by it and have sex.
I mean, that's not exactly. It's very emo still.
It's so emo.
I think that's what most people like imagine high school is. It's like let's do something bad, then we'll just like screw because of it.
There's literally only 2 episodes in the anime, that he's in school, and then it goes to college, and then he has a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how in the live action, Ryuk basically tells him to kill someone.
Mm.
Light just goes and does it, and then when Ryuk finally shows up, he's killed 400 people. Without Ryuk's there, Ryuk's like, "Whoa, you've killed a lot of people," and Light's like, "Yeah, whoops."
It's like yes. Turns out I'm really good at reading the rules.
Yeah, and Light Yagami sits down, reads all the rules, and is very calculating about it. Light Turner's like, there's too many rules!
He's like, rule 99, what? I don't want to read.
Yeah, basically.
I'm not a high-achieving student. I just like murder.
The only redeeming quality, cinematography, and also Willem Dafoe's...
Oh, Willem Dafoe.
He was so good.
Oh, yeah,
Ryuk, he was really, really good.
He is terrific.
Like, I
Even
love...
the special effects for him, too.
That wasn't
they're
bad.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, because...
So he's mostly in the shadow, and then when he is
Yes.
fully revealed, he looks good.
Yeah.
Like, they really went
that
all
was
the
a
way.
big downside of the Japanese live action, which was better because they focused on the dynamic between Light and L.
Yeah.
But the CGI for Ryuk's character was horrendous. Like you could see it, and it was like like game CGI. You could see textures, and it was really, really gross.
Yeah.
It looked like that, and
Yeah.
it took you out of the film.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, I can hear that buzzing actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is either. I don't know if it's the mic. Maybe it's my microphone.
So I think when they try to adapt, I don't think a lot of filmmakers don't understand what made the original source material special to the fans.
Yeah.
And the fans are the ones that they're marketing to. and they kind of lose what's interesting and beloved, and usually mostly look at visuals.
Sorry, I'm playing
it's
with
fine.
things. I'm trying to figure out why it's making that
So
noise.
the fact that they rewrote Light's character to be really dumb when he's meant to be really smart,
Yeah.
like hyper calculating, made me so mad. But again, I'm looking at it from an adaptation point of view.
Yeah, of course.
As a standalone film, it's mediocre.
Yeah.
But it's one of those films that you sit there and you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that happened to me.
Yeah.
I've come to terms with that. See, you haven't seen Death Note the anime. I have. What
I
did you
have
think
seen the
about it?
anime.
You have seen the anime?
Yeah, it was like one of the first animes I watched. I watched it in high
I'm
school.
genuinely proud of you.
Yeah, like I mean, look, I watched the anime in high school, and I remember quite a bit of it. I'm surprised by how much.
It is
I
a
actually remember.
37 episode anime that they tried to cram into 2 hours.
Yeah, and so when I wrote down like my review, because I like going on Letterboxd writing reviews.
Oh, nice.
I gave it 3 stars out of 5 because I'm like, look, as an adaptation, Death Note is atrocious. More 1.5 star because it's not particularly bad. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ryuk in particular is fantastic.
Nat Wolf's performance made me really mad.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just it did. I hope you put that in your review.
Which woman? What the
Nat Wolf. That's
Oh,
the main
Nat Wolf.
character.
I thought you said that woman. I'm like, what? Who?
No.
What woman? Nat Wolf. Yeah, nah, I didn't know. I
The
wasn't
scream when Ryuk pops out was
Very,
jarring.
yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of Nat Wolf. Isn't he's not a bad actor.
Light's character was better, but did he drop a British accent halfway through?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I remember
already.
sitting
I've
there
already
and I was
forgotten.
watching it and I was like, hang on, where did his British accent go? But I think he was just doing it to try and like...
Sound smarter.
No, but also like, so if Light sees your face and knows your name,
Yeah.
he can kill you.
Yeah.
Through the Death Note.
So Elle has this British accent.
Yeah,
and
to like try and like
I don't know.
misdirection of some
I don't know. It
description.
is very strange. But yeah, no, I gave the film 3 stars because it's like as a film by itself, without looking at the actual
Mhm.
source material it came from, it's not bad. Like it's a decent romantic kind of thriller. It's not greatly executed, of course. But you could tell that they cared
He
enough.
did, yeah. I can see through the cinematography and also like the casting of Willem Dafoe to make a good Ryuk because that's very important.
Yeah.
That they did care.
Yeah, it's just
Somewhat.
it's obvious that some part of the writing process was like, okay, we have too much source material.
yeah.
Let's cut this down enough. But I feel like it's one of those adaptations where they should have made it its own thing.
Yes,
Like,
like
they obviously tried
stray
to.
away, like be
Yeah.
more unfaithful to the source material because
Yeah.
you're never going to get to be the source material, and fans are always going to be disappointed if it doesn't live up to expectations.
Yeah, they obviously tried to kind of redirect themselves from the source material, and
Mhm.
hence why the whole second half of the film is so weird.
Oh,
And even the ending is just, I don't know what is happening anymore. But
this is how he all planned it.
yeah, it's very unnecessarily complicated.
It's so and they left it ambiguously open because guess what's coming in 2019 or 2020?
Yeah, there's
Death Note Part 2, baby.
There's meant to be a sequel. I'm actually
Do not say you're excited.
interested. I wouldn't say excited. I wasn't excited for the live action
Better
version
choice of
that
words.
we've already saw. I wasn't excited for it. I never wanted to watch, if not for this thing that we're recording now, I would never have watched it. But I did. I didn't mind it. I don't know. Maybe I was just tired enough to not give a hell, but at the same time, I was like,
On first watch, you're
Pretty
kind of like,
awake.
okay, this is weird. And then second watch, you're like, this is bad. And then third watch, you're like, please, I want to tear my eyes out.
Yeah.
Never again. But I think that happens with even Japanese adaptations of manga. They always seem to, like the Attack on Titan one. It's really bad. And they take away good characters like Captain Levi,
oh.
who is a beloved character.
Yeah.
My favorite character, and he
Most
wasn't
people's
in there.
favourite,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they took him out and a few other people, and then the CGI wasn't good.
Mm.
It felt super out of place, and like, I have a review on it. Hang on. I knew what I was getting myself into when I watched this film. First of all, Japanese people in steampunk European setting does not work. In fact, it was laughable. The casting was absolutely terrible, not to mention the horrible acting. I feel terrible for the people playing the Titans. They really tried, but couldn't bring out the creepiness from the manga and anime. You expect some good CGI, but it was really bad green screen. That was from Sylvester K on Rotten Tomatoes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
more, and it went on for like a page. So I wasn't going to print out that whole thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of think it kind of grasps, like, it loses all the magic that it had in the anime because there are certain aspects of anime that do not translate well to live action.
Yeah.
So, like, anything action-based, like Dragon Ball, Bleach, Black Butler, a lot of these big...
Have they tried to adapt Black Butler?
Yes, they have.
Oh,
in
no.
2007.
Oh,
They
that's
made
not good.
CL a girl, but still dressed like CL. It
That
hurts.
is very strange.
It's really weird. It didn't make sense. And plus the casting for Sebastian, who is by far the best character, was atrocious.
Mm.
But there are some good ones, like usually ones that are like school-based or they're very like talky-based, like long-form talk ones. Like Orange High School Host Club got a live action, but it had the lead character who played Tamaki in it as he played Tamaki in the live action because he's also an actor.
Yeah.
And it made it really fun and really good. And it was very reminiscent of actual Owen High School Host Club because it had like the big dramatic kind of like, and falling down and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
That was good.
Yeah.
But still, it was kind of like, did you really need it?
Yeah.
But that's what happens in Japan. They have like the triangle type adaptation system where it goes manga at the bottom, then you get an anime, and then you get a live action.
Yeah.
It usually stops at live action because it's really bad. But again, I just think adaptations for, especially in Hollywood, are easy.
Yeah.
You already have storylines, characters, plots, and a dedicated fan base that's going to make sure you don't have any financial risk.
Yeah.
And you have it easy done. You get a director that likes the stuff, hopefully, not like in Dragon Ball, and you get something that is reminiscent of the original. But again, it always... Are you all right?
Yeah, sorry.
It always disappoints. There hasn't been a good one. Old Boy, that's actually a good one.
I haven't seen the remake of Old Boy, the American version.
Oh, it's really bad. It loses everything that was.
I've seen elements of it. I'm like, this is kind of hilarious.
The fight scene that they basically try to do that shot for shot in a weird way.
Yeah.
But he gets stabbed at the end, which is besides the point because he's meant to get stabbed at the start because he's fighting with a stab wound. Like he's trying to survive to get out.
It's meant to emphasize how weakened he is outside of just like, morally.
So when Josh
everything.
Brolin gets stabbed at the end and then like, he just kind of walks it off. I'm like, that's not the point.
Yeah, it's like he went for all this and he only got stabbed once at the end because
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we love Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin is great. We love you, Josh Brolin.
I just think, why? Why is it needed? I'm really disappointed that they're making a Your Name. Your Name, have you seen Your Name?
Of course, yes.
The animation is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. The storyline, meh. Because a silent voice is better.
Yeah.
Silent voice made me cry like a little girl. Your Name, I was like, the characters weren't really in depth.
Yeah, well, I've even seen Weathering with You, which is the latest one from the director. And the one thing that I've gotten from all three of these films, even though I actually haven't watched Silent Voice since like when did they come out? 2016 or something? Yeah, I haven't seen it since seen it in cinema. And there were a lot of people crying in cinema.
I cried.
Hilarious.
I cried for like an hour afterwards because I had to sit there and like my roommate had to hold me. We held each other while we cried.
But I remember because I had to rewatch Your Name because one of the actresses, Masami Nagasawa, I was reviewing a bunch of her films. And I had just been to Japan, and so
beautiful.
I was watching this. I'm like, oh my god, I'm here again.
Yeah, and I don't think that J.J. Abrams, bless his heart, is going to be able to capture that because the whole thing was it was meant to be visuals, but these were all hand drawn.
I'm also like, what exactly? Because he has this big mystery box.
Yeah,
it's like, what's his mystery box gonna be? They're actually secretly anime characters.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And also, like, there's a cultural barrier that you've got to try and cross as well. With, especially bringing something from Japan, which has, like, especially school stuff. School has, like, it's completely different from our school system and also America's school system.
Yeah.
So to bring that across to a Western audience is going to be difficult, I think. And that's why they did like with that with Death Note. Like the school system is very, very different and the whole law system is very, very different to America's and especially ours.
Yeah.
So it kind of loses it loses its like kind of importance in why he was doing with the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
So it's just...
And in Your Name, you've got like one guy with the guys in the big city, whereas the girl isn't just in a small town, but she practices cultural things.
Which are big things that I don't know if the American audience will be able to get unless they dumb it down. And that loses that whole sense of what made it magical.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to not watch because why would I do that to myself?
Yeah, but also, are they going to whitewash it like they did with Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson?
Oh,
And they
but
make up an excuse. Oh, we put her in a white cyborg body.
Yeah, that one I feel like was worse because they were not just like I had heard about all the controversy, and then I watched the film like it wasn't that.
No,
it's still not
no.
great, and I've seen the original. The original
Yes.
is terrific.
Oh my god.
And I was watching the room. I'm like, it's not great, but not bad. But I don't know. It's just there.
It's when even I really hated when they tried to like do the shot for shot stuff. So like the shot where it's the buildings, but
Yeah.
instead of having the beautiful signs, they had grey buildings.
Yeah.
And then when it was like he was in the water and he was fighting,
Yeah.
and it was meant to have that red shirt,
Yeah.
that's really like that's your point of focus. It was beige.
Yeah.
Like yes, the visuals are beautiful, but also the whole point of the big visuals was meant to show how a person in Hong Kong deals with the place that's around them. It's a person in place. It's meant to, because like all the shots, like especially the one, and I hated it, the one where she's lying in bed, or like in the movie it's lit up. In the like manga and in the anime, it's meant to be a shot of the window and everything else is in shadow.
Yeah.
So you see her and her spot in society.
Yeah.
And they've completely lost that. They just
Yeah.
supplement it with action scenes and Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Performances
And
were
an
okay.
overcomplicated plot that was a mixture of the first two films.
Yeah, like
I'm
they
like,
would.
why did
They
do
should have stuck to
this?
like one kind of like there's like a certain story that they were trying to go for. I can't remember what it was, but it was about the kid and the kid in the bed, from what I remember.
From what is this the anime or is this the live action? Because I can't remember.
The live action tried to go
I
for
don't-
a certain story,
I
but
don't
they
remember
butchered
what
it.
the live action version was.
It was a
even
weird
about.
amalgamation. It was like they were trying to do shots from the like original kind of manga,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then supplement it with a different storyline that didn't make sense.
Yeah, of course.
So I was sitting there like, what?
Yeah, and I love too how like near the end of the film when they reveal like that she like who she
Yeah.
actually was as a young girl. It's like, oh, she actually was like
Japanese runaway.
Japanese girl, and it's like,
The
But-
government put her into a
and they
white
put her in a-
cyborg body.
yeah, and she like goes to her mum's place, and it's like, oh my god, this makes it worse. Like
It makes it-
the whitewashing element feel
Yeah.
a lot worse because it's not just we're casting a white person just because it's actually no, we're casting a white person because it's an Asian person in a white person's
Yeah,
body.
I just think like
Is that like transracial? Is that like the next thing?
I think so. What's funny, people already said they're trying to mix their like nationalities. You know Woe Wiki, right? How she said she's 1% black, so she acts like a black woman.
I don't know. I try to keep out
Rachel
of
Dolezal,
I try to keep out of racial politics.
as do I.
As it's
But I guess Ghost in the Shell is a better example.
I like movies more than I do real world stuff. So apologies.
That's a good way to be.
yeah.
I think Ghost in the Shell is a better example. But again, the whitewashing really kind of broke it for me. I didn't like that they did that. They kind of ruined the whole like thing as well for me.
Yeah. So we want to talk about in the second half of this episode about the whole technology perspective of like adapting from hand drawn to digital anime. Not talking about exactly live action remakes
No.
because let's be honest, we don't want to talk more about live action.
No,
remakes.
they make me upset. I'm already
Yeah.
quite distraught as it is.
So let's play ourselves a song.
Oh my god, which
That'll-
one?
Hopefully load when I get my phone up and running because of course it's on YouTube.
See, this is while you're doing that. I think the point is, why do we need live action when you already have the anime?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
So like from a manga to have it transformed into anime, where it has the same kind of like art style, so it matches it well. They usually have voice actors that match it so well. I just don't understand why.
Yeah. All right, so let's listen to this 3.5 minute opening the song to
Ooh.
an anime.
Oh, which one?
Oh, I don't know what's.
Oh,
it gonna
I'm
be.
so excited.
And we will see you in a few minutes' time.
I'm glad that you use this because the live action makes me sad. This is so good. Actually, all their openings are pretty good.
And we're back.
Oops, I accidentally clicked the home button on my phone. Hadn't even finished the song yet. That's all right. We had enough 53 seconds.
Oh,
I think you get the point.
oh yeah. It's just
Yeah.
it's a very very good song.
Yes.
So good.
We still got that buzzing, do we? I don't know.
No, I don't hear it.
Oh wow, that's good.
It's because it's Attack on Titan fixed it.
Yes,
Oh,
of
if
course.
for you,
It-
those
it
of you
just
who didn't know,
yelled
that was
into-
the Attack on Titan first season opening.
Yeah. What was the first song we played? It was from
Oh, Neon Genesis.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Cursed Angel or something.
probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
I feel like because we're audio, we should be able to be like, hey, yeah, well, that was the song we just played. In case you're wanting to
oh
know.
no,
Yeah.
I just most of my phone is just Japanese anime openings because they're all banging.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
But in this case, we played it from my phone and it was on YouTube, and I had to I clicked the home button.
I'm sorry. All right.
No, I apologize. I'm the one who cut the song earlier than
No,
it should have been.
It's fine. I'll forgive you.
We have one more song that we want to play later, of course. Hopefully that'll be the end of the show.
Oh,
That's
yes.
usually how we do it. So what are we talking about now? So now we are talking about the best thing in the world, actual anime.
Yes.
So we want to talk about the technology surrounding anime, because the whole point of this podcast is more or less just not just a fan boy or fan girl about.
Excuse
shows
me,
or
what are you
whatever.
talking about? I wasn't notified of this.
We want to talk about the specifics of the actual technology and the culture that
Yes.
surrounds these films. So of course, when it comes to anime, you have your classic hand-drawn animation.
Oh yeah, 2D.
And then you have your 3D. Well, not exactly 3D, but it's still like computer animated films.
But there are 3D. 3D gets shunned a lot because it's really bad.
There are what is it? There are 2D animated and even 3D animated films. No, 2D animated and 2D like digital animated that have 3D elements to them. That sometimes
Attack
work.
on Titan at the back had a lot of like 3D modeling to do buildings and textures and stuff like that, because a lot of like to do a lot of those scenes, there's a lot of drawing involved.
Yeah.
And especially if like a team is working on it and they can't do it, I'm okay if it's not like the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. But there's a lot of animes that do like the 3D modeling for the whole thing. It looks so weird.
Yeah.
Have you seen any?
Not that I can. Nothing that comes to
I
mind.
think there's one on Netflix, and I watched the trailer for it, and I was super uncomfortable because it was like slightly edging into Uncanny Valley, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's like So this is what CG animation of like real people and stuff like that.
No, it was just a 3D model of a 2D drawn kind of thing,
Okay.
and it looked so weird. But again, CGI like 3D modeling as well. Like
I think if you're not going Paper Mario route, there's no, don't do it.
Yep.
No,
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
So what films should we talk? Because I've for this,
Mhm.
at least I know that I've watched Akira and no, I was just gonna say Akira, but Akira and Ghost in the Shell
Yeah.
are good hand drawn versions where the hand drawn really emphasizes like the technology.
Majority of anime is hand drawn.
Yeah.
Because they want to try and replicate the source material, which is usually manga or a
Yeah.
light novel.
Yeah.
But I think it's Paprika. That's based on just a normal novel. So that's
Yeah.
why they had more freedom with like the colors and the drawings and stuff like
Yeah.
that to
So
go
this
kind of
is
Ham.
Satoshi Kon.
Yes.
Is it Kun or Kon? I don't know. It's K-O-N. It's hard to. I
Kun.
don't know. Kun. Yeah. This is Paprika's his 2006 film. He only did 3 films, which is disappointing.
But again, you savor those.
Yeah,
They're so
no,
good.
definitely. And I love Paprika. I would argue it's my favorite animated animated film.
I think I saw it like a while ago. I think I was too young to appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I watched it 2 years ago. Watched it again the other week, just in
Very
prep for
proud.
this, because I'm like, I love it. It's great, and it's just so bonkers. Like it captures 3 things that I like, which is film, because of course they talk about films in the film.
Mm-hmm.
There's like going out like completely out there with what you have with your technology, with the animation
Oh yeah.
and dream logic.
Oh, I
which
love
I
that.
adore, and just the fact that they just go all over the place
Oh
with it,
yeah.
and the visuals are just crazy. You don't half
Yeah.
the time you don't even know if you're in a dream. And it's
Yeah.
it's trippy.
The visual kind of thing, like where they go really ham, or like something that really, really like kind of just breaks it, is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you have seen any stills or any like short clips from that, it's like a nightmare. It's a nightmare with beautiful men. Because the animator and also the manga writer said he preferred drawing male bodies because they were prettier. So they all have cinched waists, giant thighs. They're all doing things, and they're all doing this like face thing where they're like, oh, it's beautiful.
It's fair enough, yeah.
But also they've kind of like it's amazing, and also the geoscoping they do, so that it's like what the Matrix did,
yeah.
anime did first.
Yeah.
Because they could do it a little easier.
Yeah.
But to do that is really, really hard. So there's lots of geoscoping in that, especially in sport animes.
Oh yeah, sport animes.
Like Haikyuu. The volleyball scene where he like hits it and then it geoscopes around, and then the other team, woo, it's a good time.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen a lot of those animes. Which
What?
I don't have. I don't know. I kind of grew out of my anime phase once I'd left high school.
I know
because
more about sport
we
from
even
anime
had
than I
a-
do from actual sporting things.
I mean, I don't think I really even watched sport anime outside of maybe what was it, Free?
Oh my
Yeah,
god! Free's not a Free wasn't based on anything. It was based on an ad for water, and then people have really, really liked it, and they were like, "Let's turn this into something." So every season is really bad.
Just a bunch of dudes just.
Yeah, it's a
wanted to
thirst
swim,
trap
but
anime, all right?
Yeah, it's
Haru just wants to swim free, okay?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But that was one of them that I always remember.
That's not a real sport anime.
I never watched I got into I think the volleyball one came out when I was in like year 11 or 12, and my
Yeah.
friends were like, "Oh, you got to watch it. It's great."
really
And I just had grown out of my anime phase by that stage. I'm like, "Look, I'm only watching the movies now. I was watching Akira and Ghost in the Shell, and I didn't really care much about serialized
You
stuff."
sound like you only watch prestigious things.
Well, I would argue that, but at the same time, it's like I've watched dumb crap.
You got to go
before.
back to your roots, dude. You got to go back to the sports anime.
My roots was like Studio Ghibli. I grew up
That's
watching
true. House Moving Castle.
Yeah, House Moving Castle especially. I think
Spirited
that
Away.
was my first Ghibli film.
Oh, really? Mine was Spirited Away.
Like, imagine if we kept saying Ghibli instead of Ghibli and people got pissed off. I don't know. I don't know.
I
which
say Ghibli
I don't know which one I say anymore. I keep because
because it's like GIF and GIF.
yeah.
I don't
did
care.
Yeah. Well, I did a video series after my Japan trip, and
Oh.
like that, like because I went to the
Did you go to the museum?
I went to the
Yeah.
museum, and I kept saying I don't even know which version I said, Ghibli or Ghibli, but. My dad ended up watching. He's like, you're saying it wrong, right? I'm like, I don't know, and I don't really like. I care enough, but
Mm.
you know, it's hard. Sometimes. I mean, I'm pronouncing Japanese names at the same time. It's
That
just
is true.
everything is butchered.
Oh yeah. Just say like I'm trying,
Yes,
and
I'm
then they
trying.
should give you like a
Please.
free pass.
Don't hurt me. I'm trying.
But I think when it comes to actually drawing the animation, having the manga artist on hand to draw really, really lends itself because you can actually capture what people loved from the manga, because the manga is usually more popular in Japan than the anime,
Oh yeah, definitely.
because manga and like light novels and stuff like that are hugely popular.
Yeah, like if say you're on a train, and like recently I was on a train, so it's like everyone's always on their phones. I saw a guy watching Netflix, one watching Hulu or Stan or whatever.
Mhm.
But then like you're in Japan, they're reading.
They've got the hard copies.
Yeah, and they're reading it on the train. Like,
Yeah.
especially like people in high school, they
Oh
love
yeah.
that stuff.
Actually, like I was in
I think the one guy was on his phone and he was reading he was reading manga anyway.
yeah, like it's hugely popular there, and that's why it keeps being made, because it's immensely popular. We get a little bit here, but it takes so long for them to translate it, especially for us to get hard copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I have, I just recently bought the Tokyo Ghoul manga series
Oh,
because the
okay.
art style is just chef's kiss beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to do all that and to hand draw everything, you'd have to hand draw backgrounds as well.
Yeah.
And then the actual characters. That's a lot of work that goes into it, more than I would assume, not that I know, with 3D modeling and CGI. Because you can all do that by a computer. And it's kind of like if you have that, you can kind of move it, especially with like stuff like Shrek, which is already like a model that they can move around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say like, I don't like that Disney has led to the death of 2D. Because like the old stuff, like Cinderella and Snow White and stuff, beautiful.
Yeah.
And they had to watch reference material
Yeah.
to actually like get like the dancing and stuff like that. That's gone and dead now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Disney. But the only thing that I've like that's really come out that's been
It's
2D,
not the only thing Disney's on, but yes.
very true,
Yeah.
has been Into the Spider-Verse, which is beautiful.
Yeah, and that has so many different styles of animation
And also
too.
the speed of animation, like I can't remember what his name was, like
Yeah,
the
'cause-
older Spider-Man
Yeah.
is in like 60 frames per second,
Was
while
is
Miles
it Peter
was,
B or Peter B? Peter P or Peter B Parker? There's two different ones. The one who doesn't die.
yeah, him.
Who isn't voiced by Chris Pine.
Yes.
The guy from New Girl? I don't remember. Is it
I-
Jake Johnson or something?
I
don't remember
cannot
his name,
remember.
but you know his voice. And
Yeah.
he comes in and he's what was it? He was 60 frames a second.
He
but
was
then-
he was animated at 60 frames per second because it was meant to show
Whereas-
that
yeah.
he was a polished
yeah,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But then Miles was like 24,
Yeah.
so it was meant to look really like kind of like old timey,
he was
janky.
like slow and janky because he
so
was
it's like
still
he was
learning.
learning, which I thought
Like,
was a beautiful touch.
It's strange that someone would think of that. It's like, how do we really showcase the fact that he is very, very young and amateur and doesn't know what he's doing, instead of it just being like, oh, I can't do it, I'm pathetic. It's like, no, let's screw up the frame
It's
rate
more like
instead.
showing than telling.
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
nice.
It's such a weird visual thing.
I think that was such a nice touch to use that technology to make that like connection. It's beautiful.
And you don't kind of really notice it when you're watching,
No.
but you kind of like subliminally
Yeah,
notice
you're like,
it.
oh, okay, he's not finished.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, oh, all right, there's more for him to learn.
Yeah.
I liked that. I really liked that.
Yeah, especially like if you go like I think like you could go like frame by frame on
Mhm.
certain scenes and just kind of notice how Miles is much slower and
Oh
just
yeah.
isn't as complete.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So it's nice that they use those little touches
And
to
then
like
There's
inform
this-
the audience.
What Penny Parker was it? The
Pig.
no that's Porky.
Oh,
Or,
favorite character.
No, I remember Penny because Penny's the Japanese girl. She's the one with the
Oh.
robot. And she too is animated in an anime style.
I love that.
And Gwen, her homeworld is animated like the comics that she's in, where everything is kind of has this like, what is it like when you have like, it's like a brush effect where you can make things like you can pull it down.
oh, like
and
a
it'll
feathering
linger.
or blur.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way that her comics is
I like
styled.
that.
And they replicated that in the
Mm.
film. Not exactly for her character, but for her universe when she's in her universe.
I like that.
And they've done a lot of that stuff.
See, that's the only like Into Spider-Verse is the only thing I've seen very like recently that's done that, like the 2D kind of thing that
Yeah.
not Japanese.
Yeah.
Because Japan owns that market. You cannot touch Japanese anime.
Yeah.
It's like America has tried with live actions and they have sucked.
Yes,
like
as
I've
we have
stated earlier.
discussed in the first half of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah. But like
Yeah.
I think like when you just watch it, a lot of work goes into making that. You've got to like they stick some like will be like a shot for shot remake like Haikyuu and Boku no Hero Academia. So My Hero Academia are very two good examples of them sticking very very close to the manga.
Yeah.
Because fans will get mad if they don't.
Yeah.
Because they're two huge like huge animes and manga series. But stuff like One Piece kind of strays away, or like Full Metal Alchemist, the first adaptation, that strays away from the manga and has a kind of like a slightly different kind of like drawing style and stuff. And that was, I think, and like the other one came out in like 2010 when the manga was finished. So it had like a, people always say that that's the true Full Metal Alchemist like thing, even though like just because it stays very very faithful, but you can see the difference in technology and like the ability to like draw certain stuff and have like clarity. Like it's so different. It's very jarring to watch, and it's basically the same story, but it's you can see the difference in like from like 2004 to 2010, the growth in that technology.
Yeah.
Which I just think is wonderful. So I
Yeah.
can't wait for like the recent JoJo series, like from like 2012 to like now, to see the wild animation styles that they come out with.
Yeah, I've heard so much about JoJo in particular. Like, I mean, I guess I've known about it since high school. I've never watched it, never read it, and I
I'm disappointed.
feel bad. I had a talk show I did in high school where a guy brought we were doing comics and manga, and a guy brought his whole entire it was like a limited edition like big hardcover volume of JoJo, and he was
it's
just
so
showing
good.
how ridiculous it all was. I'm
Yeah.
just like, what the hell is this?
You can't explain to someone just by showing them a clip of what JoJo is.
Yeah,
It's too much.
yeah, it's.
I can only watch 2 episodes in a night because I will have a panic attack because so much goes on and people die. And like they're just like they'll be introduced to the start of the episode. Next episode they're dead.
Yeah,
And you're
so
like,
not the audience are dying, the
no,
characters.
the characters. Oh, I'll die if I watch 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. Like I have to like sit back and kind of like, whew, what just happened?
Imagine binging that show like Netflix.
I tried. Me and my roommate Mel tried so hard. We watched the first season. We got like 5 episodes in, and I was like, Mel, I need a break. I need to go and lie down. Yeah. But like, you can definitely binge anime.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I binged Death Note,
That's fair enough. I think I probably did too.
then had a crisis afterwards.
I don't know. It's interesting, especially like looking at like the technology of. You look at something like Akira, where they've got the lights that reminisce from from the motorbikes in particular, or
Isn't that the scene where the motorbike stuff comes from? Like all the slide motorbike stuff?
I mean,
From what I remember? Yeah, it's very, very famous.
yeah. Well, it's a very very famous scene as it is, and the motorbikes are such a big part of the iconography of that film. And then you've got something like Ghost in the Shell, where, like you mentioned before, the live action remake, where they've got Invisible Girl fighting him in the water.
Yeah.
All of that being animated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, you can just put, Scarlett Johansson in a green screen suit
Yeah.
and just click
Easy.
chroma.
Chroma cast.
That's the one. Get her out of there. Done. She's gone. But then you have the anime where it's like, you've got the water effects.
Oh.
You've got the guy running in
Yeah.
the water who's actually there. You've got to make sure that he's fighting something, and she's like vaguely visible every now and again.
I know.
It's mental.
I don't understand. When you watch an anime, so much work goes into that.
Yeah.
Like, especially something that, like you were saying, Ghost in the Shell, that does things that's meant to trick your mind. Like, it's phenomenal.
And you got to think like, oh, it's like people could argue it's like, oh, but it should be easy to animate an invisible character. It's like, yeah, but it isn't, because you have to have predictive movements. It's not just one person; it's two.
Yeah, especially since they've
And
got to
the
go
surroundings.
they've got to go and look at reference material for
Yeah.
how people are fighting. Then they've got to get rid of that reference material, but have the other person still fighting, even though they changed the fighting style.
I think they made the scene more interesting too because they had it
Yeah.
in the water. They're
Yes.
like, hey, well, this actually shows that she is physically there and moving.
Oh, it's so good.
It's mental. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, even though the second one, Innocence, went more into computer generated
Mhm.
effects, it still works. It still has the
Mm.
same kind of style and feel.
Yeah.
It was like Blade Runner from our first episode of this
Yeah.
show. It's the same kind of thing where Blade Runner 2049 has a lot of digital effects, but at the same time, it's so focused on and heavy with practical effects like the original that you can't really disassociate them from each other
Oh,
outside
very
of
true.
one was shot on like digital cameras, the other one was shot on film cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's just
See, I think when it comes to like adaptations that, especially like like you were saying with live action, it just loses its magic.
yeah.
So, in 2021, when Your Name comes out, I will be proven right.
It's like, what was it? They tried to Taika Waititi was doing.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. He's going to do a
he-
live action one? No.
He was meant to be doing Akira.
Don't
Yeah.
ruin it. Taika Waititi,
Yeah.
no.
They tried to get him to do it, and then like he ended up
Backing out?
No, they just kind of stalled it again because they kind of Marvel rushed into production
Oh, okay.
the Thor Ragnarok, not Ragnarok, the Love and Thunder. So he was like, yeah, we'll get back to it later. So it was meant to he was meant to have started writing the script and it was meant to come out in like 2-3 years
He
time.
should just
but
say
instead
no.
He's like, yeah, I don't know why. It's just because
And
he's
also then hand the rights back to Japan and
Yeah.
say, this is yours. We won't touch it again. I'm sorry.
It's like just because he's a kooky dude doesn't mean it's gonna make it a good film.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I'm like, yes, J.J. Abrams is very good with very like scenic shots and stuff like that.
yeah,
Doesn't mean he'll make the film good.
yeah.
Because like script writers have to come into that because J.J. I don't know if he's going to write it.
He's not big on writing.
No,
he's
he'll be
written some
directing.
stuff, but not.
Yeah.
He's not very strong on writing.
So
Yeah, you can tell that he could be like in charge of maybe story elements or like how they might depict something, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but it might not be his kind of a film.
no, and like unless it's going to be like a shot-for-shot remake like they did with The Lion King, which I think was a waste of money and everyone's time.
Yes, yes, especially my money and my time.
I didn't go and see it because I refused to.
I went to because my partner wanted to see it, and I'm like,
Sorry, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry.
Look, it looked real, but it's like
That's not the point of The Lion
I
King.
know. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I watched The Jungle Book just recently. The
Which
also
one? There's
the
Mowgli
2016,
and then there's The Jungle Book.
the actual Jungle Book one,
Okay.
not the one where they've like mocapped everyone's faces into the animals, which looks really weird.
I hate that.
I watched the John Favreau one, which I'm like, it's not bad. Like, it's not a great film,
But
but
why is it needed?
it's but the same thing. You're contrasting the kid, which is real,
Yeah.
who is real, with like digital animals, and that
Yeah.
was fine because it's like that makes sense because you have the reason
That
for
makes
it because
sense.
it's the contrast.
Yeah.
But
But just with The Lion King, like it's just
Yeah.
a lion.
yeah, it's you didn't.
I don't
need-
want to see a Nature Geographic and like documentary
Yeah.
about the lions singing.
Yeah, 'cause
please.
at least in the Jungle Book you had someone emoting, whereas in
Thank
the,
you.
in the Lion King you didn't.
Yeah.
There was no emotion, even in the voices half the time, no emotion because
Yeah.
more than half the cast just obviously didn't give.
What's funny is, and Disney Plus is coming out, so everyone's going to get Disney Plus, which already has all the originals. Do you really need to make more money, Disney?
Yeah,
You have Marvel and
Yeah.
Star Wars.
we have the Lion King 2.5.
Please stop.
Where was it? Timon and Pumbaa watched the Lion King.
I loved that film. I watched that as a kid. 10 out of 10. I don't know. I don't like Western animation. Boss Baby made me sad. Did we need that? Probably not.
No, but
Despicable
but
Me?
Netflix wanted
Nah. I don't want to see the Minions. I don't want the Minions to be around. But
No.
alas, I
But
can't stop this.
And ironically, Japan loves them.
Why Japan? You were
Oh,
so good.
There was a whole big section of it at Universal Studios in Japan. They love it.
Well, that's
It's
Universal.
mental.
That's what they have
I
to
know,
do.
of course, because it is a Universal brand, but like it's just mental in Japan how big it is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Japan likes cute things.
Yeah, they do. I don't think they're cute, but sure, if that's
The
how you want
Minions,
to define it.
adorable. Haven't you seen their yellow little faces?
I love their little faces
Mm.
and when their butts and stuff.
No,
and
because
I don't know.
Minions and Boomers go together so well.
Mm.
Have you seen all the Minion memes?
Oh god.
Where boomers use
They're
them?
like they're like what is it? Your mum's on Facebook and she's doing memes and
Yep.
they're all
She's like, "Have you seen this fun meme?
Ah.
Have you seen this meme?" No, I don't know. I prefer me personally when I watch animation. If I'm going to choose to watch an animation, it'll be something from Japan.
Yeah,
They do it
no,
better.
I mean, I still like Western animations. I don't like obviously their adaptations.
Like what?
Of
Name
anime
a good
stuff.
animation for me, please.
Western animation.
Yeah.
The Incredibles.
Stop.
It's my favorite Western animated.
But the
film.
second one was
the second animated one is still decently animated, but the whole story doesn't.
it was a nostalgia piece to steal my money.
Yeah, like they should have done it differently. They should have, like, I heard someone saying, like, they should have said it like it was actually 15 years later. Because
Yeah.
it's like, who cares that Jack's a baby? They could just make
No,
a short
because then
about
they could
that.
have fun thing where Jack does his powers.
Yeah, it's like, wow, what? Like, they could use flashbacks. There are so many techniques. Brad Bird, god damn it.
Yes, but
Mr.
again,
Man who started with
why do that when we
animation.
can have fun Jack?
But, I don't know, it's like, but he, I don't know.
Jack is a moody teen. Ooh, I'm going to my room, lights himself on fire.
Exactly, it just walks straight through his door because it's just made of wood. It
That'd
just
be
burns
so
out.
good.
Like, there's so much that they could have done. And
That's
it's weird because
disappointing.
it just seemed like Brad Bird had something, but he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he just needed a paycheck because
What about
Tomorrowland flopped big time.
What about Frozen and Frozen 2? Two of the
Ah.
best films ever.
Yeah, totally.
Best films.
Yeah, can't wait. What's Frozen 2 about? She makes a nice
It's even
version of
colder.
herse- Frozen 2, freezing Boogaloo. Like, honestly.
It's just Elsa in an igloo that she made for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome back to my igloo.
She starts becoming the vlogger.
Oh,
It's like,
jeez.
yeah.
All right. Well,
I know.
what else? Because those are the popular ones.
That's because they're probably Disney and Pixar.
Yeah. I
Um,
didn't. This is gonna be a unpopular opinion. I don't like Toy Story.
Okay. I like it. I
Mm.
mean, I grew up with it, and I like all
Made me
4 of them.
uncomfortable. Especially
Why?
Sid, the kid with the.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Sid's
my God.
Great. Sid's great. He's a nightmare.
You know what animation I do love? Land Before Time. Now that's
classic.
that's a stellar animation.
That's not
We
bad.
should make a now remake, live action.
Yeah.
I want dinosaurs, and I want dinosaurs now.
There are good Western animated films, obviously. Like
I like some of the TV shows like Big Mouth. That's 2D.
yeah,
I like that. That's funny. I just again like people and like a lot of people don't watch it because they think it's a kids show, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
yeah. That's
No.
that's the main problem with Western audiences. They think that
animation is for children.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, but what?
I
Have you
watched
seen
an
like
animation.
any anime?
Yeah.
Most anime is so violent.
Yeah.
Kids can't watch it.
I sent a link to my mum to watch this anime. It's called Banana Fish. It came out 2018. Sounds weird and kooky. Banana Fish is a drug that makes you is mind controlled for like 24 hours. It's all about this kid called Ash Lynx who was raped as a child and grew up in like a gang and like is like a gang leader. And it's all about him trying to find like a cure and like stuff to like and like take down the big mafia boss who was his rapist as a child. It is horrifying. It's beautiful, but it's not for children. My mom was like, "Oh, is that for kids?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, show this to the kids. Show that, Mom."
It's like that scene in Kill Bill Volume 1, the whole animated prologue thing for Lucy Liu's character, and it's all animated from Japan.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino takes a lot of influence from Japan.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah, I've actually bought the films that inspired Kill Bill because I'm
Quentin
like,
Tarantino's probably a weeb, boys.
oh yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Guess what we're talking about next episode?
Ah,
Oh,
what a
That
segue.
was so loud, and it didn't even pick the microphone. How is that? It hurt my ears.
Really? I moved away.
I think my headphones are very loud. Like when we play the music, you could hear it through my headphones.
As you
so-
can hear them from mine, but also I like loud tunes.
I mean, I like it too.
How are we going on time?
We have just less than 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Well, to sum it up, I don't like live action adaptations of anime.
Mm.
My advice would be to please stop.
Yeah, definitely.
Just cut that out.
Yeah.
Like that'd be really good. Like I think in some forms of animation, the medium that it should stay in is animation because it works well. But speaking on that, there are some that are good.
Yeah.
And I think that a Western audience need to change their opinion on animation because you can have some very, very beautiful stories told through animation that are dark, that are deep, and stuff like that. That I think is ruined by Disney.
Yeah.
Because they do the ooey gooey. I'm a child, and I love.
Well, that's just because their brand is family friendly.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Poor Deadpool.
Yeah. I don't know. Still,
What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I definitely think that animation should be taken more seriously, especially in America. Like, I especially love stop motion animated
Oh,
films.
same here.
We
We didn't touch on that, but I'm really sad that we didn't. It's amazing.
Yeah, and like there are films that I watched. What was the latest Missing Link? That was like a Leica production, and
Yeah.
like hardly anyone watched that. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's great. I thought it was really good. I mean,
I
as much
watched
as-
that.
Yeah, it is actually a family film. It's for
Mhm.
kids, but you can watch it. I'm like 20. I can watch it. I enjoyed it. You know, the first scene, boom, Loch Ness monster in stop motion. What?
The old notion that animations is for kids is very, very outdated, and it's just ridiculous. Take after Japan, and a majority of their TV is animation.
Yeah.
I wish that was me.
Yeah.
So I think to top it all off, we're gonna play my favorite anime opening of all time.
Is that the first link or the
The
second?
first link,
First
please,
alright.
please play the first link.
Alright, I'll have to mute for that, but yeah, well, let's let it load. What is this? Oh God!
If
All right.
If
I
I
want
have
to introduce the song because we don't want to be talking.
If I have
past
any
this.
advice for the listeners out there, please watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It is literally an adventure.
I doubt we'll be able to listen to the whole entire song, but hopefully you get the point.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
This is such a good song! Animation's so much better than everything else! I'm having an existential crisis.
Wait, it's only 2:54. We have time.
Do you want to do the other one?
Yeah, I think we should go straight into it.
Perfect.